Some imagination, huh?
Hey gang, it's Mike. Yes, this is weird for me too, so don't worry about it. Now I know what some of you may be thinking. Hey Mike, it's been 2 years since you uploaded a proper video to this YouTube channel. Where have you been? And to that I will say, that's a great question. So for those of you who are new to the channel, back in 2018, this channel was my way of documenting the process I went through to get a place on the cultural exchange program, which was a summer-long program for college students in Europe to go work for the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida for summer to, do the whole cast member thing. And it's a thing I did, and I had goals of vlogging the entire experience, uploading videos on a regular basis, and essentially besides that one video I did at the end of 2018, kind of doing the whole overview of the thing, I didn't make any videos. I have a lot of footage, I have no videos. And the further away it got from the time I was there, almost the less incentive I had to make the videos. Also, I was so open with how I got on the program that when I got there finally, I just kind of wanted to experience it. And yeah, that's why this channel has been kind of dormant for a long time. But I'm back, so essentially this is kind of a reintroduction to my YouTube channel and me, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the content I'm going to be putting out. I asked y'all on Instagram what kind of videos you'd like to see from me, and I'm going to be doing a few of those. But for today's video, I'm going to essentially go back to basics, and this is a simple get to know me video. So I have a few questions that I've picked from the internet. I asked you all on Instagram to send me some questions, and I'm going to answer them. So without any further ado, let's get started. There is no structure to any of these questions. I'm going to answer the ones that I picked out from various get to know me tags online. Answer those, and then I'll answer some of the questions that you guys sent me on Instagram. So yeah, first question, am I named after anybody? Yes I am. For those of you who may not be aware, Mike isn't my actual first name. It's short for Michael. And Michael was the name of my grandfather on my dad's side. Next question, where am I from? I am from Ireland, in case you couldn't tell by the accent. You'd be so surprised how many people have come up to me, complete strangers, and say, you sound American. I'm like, no, I don't. Except when I did a very bad American accent right there, but I don't. Do I? Maybe I just don't sound Irish. That makes sense. Does that make sense? Probably doesn't make sense. Next question. What is your biggest accomplishment? I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's a corny answer, I know, but getting to work for the Walt Disney Company has been my biggest accomplishment to date. It was a goal of mine for the longest time, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get to say that I work for them again sometime. That's kind of the end goal, really. Next question is, what is your favorite movie? My favorite movie has been, and will probably always be, Back to the Future. I consider it a perfect movie. I consider the trilogy to be one of the best trilogies of all time, hands down. And yeah, I could watch those on repeat for so long and not get fed up of them at all. They are, even without a bias like mine, you could very easily argue that they are the best films ever made. But if we're talking about Disney movies, then a Goofy movie, because again, I make it very clear that most of my social media, especially my Disney social media, are dedicated Goofy movie and Fantasmic fan accounts. Even so much so, I'm staring at a Goofy movie poster as I'm recording this video. Next question, what is your favorite drink? I'm a pretty avid tea drinker, as some of you may be aware. But if we're talking about soda, probably Dr. Pepper. Fun fact, when I was younger, my friend and I used to mix Dr. Pepper with Club Orange. It's an orange flavored drink over here. And we'd mix it together and we'd call it Dr. Club. And I don't know what it was about it. It was really good. Haven't had it in about 10 years, so I couldn't tell you if it's just nostalgia talking or I was just mad as a child. Are you a dog person or a cat person? See, this is awkward because I would consider myself more of a dog person, but I own a cat and I love him so much, and he's very old and he's very grumpy all the time, and I love him to absolute pieces. But overall, I think when I picture myself in my future house, I picture myself owning a dog. So probably, most likely dogs. What is your favorite meal? Now this is a difficult question, but I'm going to go with the first thing that popped into my head when I saw it, which was there was this tofu chow mein in a Chinese restaurant that no longer exists where I live. And it was by far the best meal I have ever had, and probably ever will have. And every other chow mein I've had since has completely paled in comparison. Do you have any birthmarks? If so, where? I do! I have one birthmark. It is on my right foot on the left-hand side, and it is in the shape of an oval. Very boring, but yeah. Next question. What inspires you? In all honesty, there's going to be another cheesy answer, but my friends. I see my friends going places and doing amazing things, and seeing them succeed in things they've wanted to succeed in a very long time and getting through things. It's very inspiring. I'm very lucky to be surrounded by a lot of very strong-willed people who can beat the odds and kind of be successful in their own way, and it definitely motivates me to be the best kind of version of myself that I can be. So, next question. What is your favorite zoo animal? My favorite zoo animal, without a shadow of a doubt, is a red panda. I really like pandas in general, but there's something about red pandas that they are very, very cute and very sweet. And yeah, I think if I was to be a zoo animal, I think I would be a red panda. Next question. Do you collect anything? Yes, I do. I collect mugs, mostly of the Disney variety. That's a video I might actually do, because I have it's not a huge collection, but it's a considerable amount of money spent on mugs collection. I collect mugs, and I suppose in a sense, I also collect Disney pins, which I have some here. These are Fantasmic pins. They are here because I was doing a post about, I was doing a Fantasmic post for its anniversary, and I just haven't put them back on my pin board. Fun fact, this is my favorite pin ever. It was a gift that I got from a close friend when I got, as a kind of a congratulations on getting a place to work for Disney. And yeah, it's just so cute. Yeah, anyway, sorry, sidetracked. And finally, the final question on the list that I just randomly picked from was, what was the last movie you went to see? And what did you think? The last movie I got to see in theaters was Sonic the Hedgehog. I got to see it a week and a bit before lockdown happened over here. So as final theatrical experiences go, it could have been worse, I'm not going to lie. Alright, so moving on to the questions that you, lovely lot, asked me on Instagram. So without further ado, let's go into it. So we're going to start with, what is your favorite musical? And on top of that, what are your top 3 favorite musical soundtracks? Okay, this is difficult because I really like theater. My favorite musical, oh man, I think right now it's Dear Evan Hansen. I think it's the one that I've been riding the high more recently about Dear Evan Hansen than any other show lately. So for now, it's probably Dear Evan Hansen, but it changes. I could say Avenue Q for that answer. I could say The Producers. I could say Come From Away. Come From Away is, if you haven't seen Come From Away, I implore you, it is one of the most moving pieces of theater I've ever seen, or musical theater at least. Yeah, and as for top 3 musical soundtracks, oh man, so I'm going to take Dear Evan Hansen out of the equation because I've said it. I think one of them is going to be Come From Away, because regardless of your context within the show, I think the cast recording is super, super solid. And I just love the kind of the folky nature of it. It's not traditional musical theater or traditional contemporary musical theater. Okay, so that's Come From Away. What else has there been? I really like Beetlejuice, but Beetlejuice is kind of the whole package. Okay, so I've gone into Spotify just to see what Spotify thinks my favorite albums are, and the three cast recordings that come up are The Lightning Thief from the Percy Jackson musical, Beetlejuice, and Matilda came up. So, and also Dear Evan Hansen. Essentially, what this question has proved to me is that I can't pick three. I keep thinking of more shows that I could put in. I could put in Waitress. I could put in Beetlejuice. I could put in Come From Away, Dear Evan Hansen, Be More Chill, Avenue Q, Producers. I could go on. So maybe that gives a decent indication of, oh, Matilda as well. See, I can't answer that question. I'm sorry. There's too many. Oh, Hamilton as well. Following up, another musical question. So, what is your dream musical to see? It could be one that exists or one that you'd love to see made. Well, before this lockdown started, I was preparing to go to Manchester to go see the limited run of Back to the Future, the musical, before it transferred to the West End. I was really excited to see it because, like I've said before, Back to the musical, Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time. So I was really interested to see not only the spectacle of the show, given the source material, but also just because what I've heard from the soundtrack sounded really good. As for something that doesn't exist, I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that doesn't exist that I'd like to see made, but I'm sure as soon as I stop filming, I'll think of something. I'm sure there's something, but definitely Back to the Future was the musical I was dying to see, and hopefully we'll get to see now. Fingers crossed it gets its West End transfer once all this is over. The next question, if you could work in any Disney park around the world, which one would it be and why? I might have to say Disneyland in Anaheim, purely because it's the original, and I think it would be, first of all, it would be cool to say. Also, just to know that you're working in a park that Walt Disney himself walked around in and stayed at and greeted guests at, that'd be pretty cool. Other than that, maybe Tokyo. I'd love to go work for Tokyo, just because it seems like such a different experience than the domestic parks. And also, I'd love to visit Japan anyway. So, yeah. Next question. What's the last restaurant meal you ate before lockdown began? I couldn't tell you the last time I went out for a meal. That's not even because of lockdown. I don't go out eating that much. It was hardly back in November the last time I was in the UK, was it? It actually might have been. It might have been back in November. And in that case, it was like Mod Pizza, which is a fantastic last meal to have. Don't get me wrong, but oh man, I'm shocked at how long it's been since I've gone to a restaurant. Next question is, who is the superior Muppet? Now, this is a very important question, obviously, because are we talking purely Muppet Show characters as owned by the Walt Disney Company now? Are we talking Sesame Street characters owned by Sesame Workshop? Are we talking Fraggle Rock, The Dark Crystal, Labyrinth as still owned by the Jim Henson Company? Okay, I'm gonna put this into Sesame Street, and then the Muppets. So, my favorite Muppet on Sesame Street it's a tie between Elmo and Big Bird. They are my two favorite characters on Sesame Street. And then on the Muppets, it's a tie between Fozzie Bear and Gonzo the Great. Because, I don't know, they both seem like outcasts. They're both trying their best. And Gonzo has one of the most emotionally impactful moments in any Muppet movie ever, in the original Muppet movie where he sings his song when they're all camping outside. And that song makes me cry. So, yeah. Also, as a side note, Kermit, when he sings Rainbow Connection, no matter who's performing Kermit, where he's performing it, tears everywhere. Alrighty, next question is, what is your coffee order? I don't actually go buy coffee that often anymore, but I do love a good chai latte. If I'm going to a coffee shop these days, or if I was allowed to go to a coffee shop these days, I would be getting a chai latte. Just regular, regular spice chai latte. Sprinkle of cinnamon on the top, and I am set. I'm golden. Okay, so the next question is a four-parter. We have, what is your favorite ride, park, snack, and show? I wonder what Phantasmike's favorite show is at a Disney park. Hey, Sorcerer Mickey, what do you think? This is my dream. Bum ba dum bum 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 ba. Thanks, Sorcerer Mickey. So I like Finding Nemo the musical. Yeah, my favorite show in any Disney park ever is Phantasmic. I really like Phantasmic. In case you couldn't tell. In case you couldn't tell. My favorite Disney snack? It's probably a tie between three. So I'm going to give you my top three. I love Dole Whip. I love Mickey Pretzels, just on their own without the cheese. And I also love the Mickey ice cream sandwich. They are vastly superior, I think, to the Mickey Mouse, normal Mickey Mouse bar. Just because, you don't have to deal with it melting and everything. And they're just really nice. And I ate a lot of them. My favorite Disney park, I'm probably just going to have to say Disneyland in Anaheim, the original, because it is so nostalgic. It's so surreal to walk through a park knowing that Walt Disney himself walked through it. And it hits differently. If I'm going to say in Walt Disney World as well, I'm going to have to say it's a tie between Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, because Animal Kingdom is so different from any other Disney park. It is so immersive. It is so, I don't know, it's so focused on animal conservation and education about the welfare of animals, and I am all for that. It just, man, I love it so much. And it also has Finding Nemo the musical. As for my favorite ride, I always say the People Mover. My go-to answer is the People Mover. But if I can't pick the People Mover, if that's more of an experience than a ride, if we had to pick like one of the mountains or something, I think Expedition Everest may be my favorite. That's definitely up there. Literally, it's one of the tallest structures at the Walt Disney World Resort. I'm 100% sure now I'm forgetting a really obvious answer. And I just can't think of it because I've been asked the question and I'm thinking too much about it. But no, I think in this moment, as I'm recording, Expedition Everest. And the final question I'm going to answer today, because I don't want this video going on too long, is what would your absolute dream role be within Disney? That is such a tough question, and it's a question I think about all the time. Because like I've said before, the end goal for me, career-wise, is ideally to get to say I work for the Walt Disney World Company, or the Walt Disney Company in general, be it as a cast member or something different. I suppose if we're going with my qualifications, it would be an editor or a designer for the animation branch of the company. If we're talking strictly cast member roles, I'd love to be photo pass. I mean, I'm a trained photographer, so getting to capture magical moments like that would be cool. I just honestly, I'd love to just work for the company again in any capacity, just to kind of. I know it's a cliche thing to say, just to be a small piece of such a massive entity in people's lives. It's very rewarding, and if I got the chance to do it again, I would in an absolute heartbeat. We did it, gang. We made it through the video. I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk for however long this video is going to be. I hope my answers were entertaining. I hope you got to know a little bit more about me. But with all that said, I'd like to thank you so much for watching the video. I'd like to thank you so much for sending in questions for me to answer. I didn't think anybody would, so the fact some people did, that's pretty cool. And yeah, thank you for your support. I hope you're all keeping safe. I hope you're all keeping healthy. Be kind to people. Be kind to yourself. This is a very difficult time we're all going through. And to the people who kept asking for a phantasmic recreation, well, knowing me, I'll probably do it.